at all.
I'm a champion. Where you at?
The only champion in the DMV at 130.
The only champion in there.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has never been one to hold back, and this time, he's got a message for Lamont Roach Jr. with Roach set to face Gervonta "Tank" Davis on March 1st next year. Mayweather isn't mincing words. He's warning Roach to reconsider before stepping into the ring with Tank. The fight is set for the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, creating the perfect stage for a high-stakes showdown. Tank Davis is one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport, blending speed, power, and high-level ring IQ to break down opponent after opponent. Anyone who steps in the ring with him is in serious trouble.
I'm gonna beat his ass if y'all talking. Y'all better be quiet.
Mayweather has been through it all in boxing, both inside the ring and behind the scenes. With unmatched experience, he was a key figure in Tank Davis's rise and knows exactly what it takes to compete at the highest level. That's why his words hold weight. Gervonta is a different kind of fighter at lightweight, Mayweather recently said. Lamont has talent, no doubt, but this is a whole different level. He's not just fighting any lightweight. He's stepping in there to give Tank an easy win and a confidence boost. That's all Roach is bringing.
What that mean?
Love limit. I don't like points, motherfucker.
No, you don't.
EJ do the trick.
Mayweather doesn't usually speak this bluntly about a fighter's chances, especially someone outside his camp. But his concerns are real. Lamont Roach, the reigning WBA super featherweight champion, is moving up in weight for this fight. At 130 pounds, he's shown skill and technical ability. But stepping up to 135 against Tank Davis is a whole different challenge. The punches are heavier, the pace is relentless, and the competition is on another level. For Roach, this fight is about making a statement. He's been confident leading up to it, pointing out what he believes are flaws in Davis's style.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog. He want to prove his skills against it.
He's explosive, yeah, Roach said in an interview. But he's reckless too. There are gaps in his game. I've studied him, and I know what to do. Confidence is one thing, but executing a game plan against Davis is another. Tank isn't just a knockout artist. He's one of the smartest fighters in the division. His ability to set traps, adjust mid-fight, and punish mistakes is unmatched at lightweight. Look at his recent fights. Against Hector Luis Garcia, he broke him down round by round before forcing a stoppage. And against Ryan Garcia, he delivered one of the year's most talked about knockouts, a perfectly timed body shot that left Garcia unable to continue.
Looked like he was even in position, Davis, to get a lot of leverage on that left hand. But he got more than enough and landed it at the perfect spot, correct?
The real danger for Roach isn't just Tank's power. It's his ability to dictate the fight from start to finish. Mayweather made that clear when breaking down Roach's chances. Tank's not just a puncher, Floyd said. He's smart, he's fast, and when he lands, it's over. You can't train for the kind of power he has. It's different. Lamont really needs to think about this because once you're in there with Tank, there's no turning back. Despite Mayweather's warnings, Roach isn't backing down. The build-up to the fight has been intense, with tensions rising every time the two fighters cross paths.
The nigga, when they start talking, when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumb. I'ma beat his ass.
He can't do shit. Wait, I don't give a fuck.
So
Lamont Roach Jr. believes he has the blueprint to beat Tank, and it all comes down to what he sees as Davis's biggest flaw, his tendency to give away early rounds while analyzing his opponent. Roach is convinced that Tank's slow start will cost him when they meet on March 1st at the Barclays Center. Speaking with confidence, Roach made it clear he won't let Davis settle in. "I'm not going to be predictable," he said. "If he wants to take his time figuring me out, that's my chance to take him out. That's the mistake he'll make against me."
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in
Roach's argument isn't without merit. Tank's measured approach can make him appear passive in the early rounds, giving opponents a false sense of control. He watches, studies, and then systematically dismantles them as the fight progresses. It's a pattern fans recognize, and one that fighters like Roach believe they can exploit. But Roach might be missing the bigger picture. What he sees as a flaw is actually the foundation of Tank's dominance. This so-called mistake has led to all 28 of his knockout wins. It's not hesitation, it's a calculated setup. Tank lures opponents in, lets them believe they have the upper hand, and then lands a fight-ending shot when they least expect it. Look at Frank Martin. He came in with the same confidence Roach has now. Martin had a sharp game plan, slick footwork, and a strategy built around unpredictability. He moved well, controlled distance, and threw off-rhythm combinations to keep Tank guessing. For a while, it seemed like Martin had cracked the code. But as always, Tank adjusted. He found his openings, unleashed his power, and turned the fight in his favor. Martin's movement and strategy weren't enough. He still ended up on the canvas, caught by the very danger he thought he could avoid. Roach is determined to write a different story, and maybe he will. But history shows that underestimating Tank's calculated approach is often the biggest mistake a fighter can make.
So easy when he fought Frank Martin.
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me.
What's your game plan?
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock it.
Tank is many things, but above all, he's one of the best fighters to come out of Mayweather's camp. He's a knockout artist, a showman, and a master at selling a fight, just like Floyd. On the surface, Tank has shown respect for Roach, calling him tough with sneaky power. But anyone who understands the game knows what's really happening. Tank isn't praising Roach because he believes it. He's setting the stage. No fighter wants to admit they're walking into a fight they expect to dominate.
And just stay calm. I always like to listen to Floyd when it comes to big stages like this, because he's the only one that been in my shoes and been like in these type of fights. You know what I mean? So I always try to stay close to Floyd when stuff like this happens.
Everybody knows how Tank operates. He doesn't just win, he dominates. He's a finisher, the kind of fighter who systematically breaks down opponents. But instead of outright dismissing Roach, he's adding just enough respect to make it seem like this fight could be competitive. I haven't watched his fights too much, but I've been in the gym with him. I know how he moves, Tank said. He's definitely tough, and he's had sneaky power since we were kids. But let's be real. Tank doesn't need to study Roach much to know what he's dealing with. They fought twice in the amateurs, and Tank won both times. Those early fights told him everything he needed to know. Roach is talented, but he's not on Tank's level. Still, Davis isn't going to outright call this fight a mismatch.
Sell tickets. He's got, athletes coming out. He's got celebrities coming to his fights. And not only that, he finishes the show with knockouts. He's never in boring fights. What would we always say about Floyd? Yes, he's a big star and everyone would come out to watch him fight. Yep. But a lot of times after you bought his pay-per-views, you were like, oh man, I did it again. I bought another pay-per-view where and Floyd, yes, but
That would kill the hype, and Tank is too smart for that. By talking up Roach's toughness and power, he's making fans believe this is a real challenge. It's a classic boxing move. Build up your opponent so that when you dominate them, the win looks even bigger. But even as Tank gave Roach some credit, his confidence was impossible to hide. He made it clear he's coming to handle business. We're going to figure out what he's best at, and we'll take it away from him, he said with the calm certainty of a fighter who knows he's at the top of his game.
I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother.
It's not arrogance. It's the mindset of a fighter who has done this over and over. Tank isn't just a knockout artist. He's a strategist. He knows how to break opponents down, and when he sees an opening, he takes it without hesitation. Then came the line that sent a chill through the room. He better not bring his family, Tank warned. That's what I've been saying. He might be my people, but we gotta get it on. I don't care who he comes with. None of them can stop this. That's the thing about Davis. He's ruthless.
My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't
what?
bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They
don't
gonna
bring 'em.
celebrate with me. You hear
Don't
me?
bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking.
Lamont Roach Jr. stood his ground. The WBA super featherweight champion from Washington, D.C., is taking a big risk by moving up in weight to challenge Tank. At the press conference, he carried himself like a fighter with something to prove. "I've got DC in here," he said, gesturing toward his supporters. "They know what's up, and they know what's up with me. His team knows my work up close and personal. We got a lot for him, and come March 1st, we're going to kick some ass." Roach's confidence is real, and he has every reason to believe in himself. At 25, he's built a strong career with skill, patience, and sharp technique. But stepping into the ring with Tank is a whole different challenge.
Overall, being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm assured.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind?
Roach acknowledged their amateur history, but made it clear he's not the same fighter Davis faced back then. "I've improved in every way since the amateurs," he said. "I was one of the best boxers in the country back then, and I'm even better now." Roach didn't stop there. He doubled down on his confidence and his game plan. "I can do whatever I want. He's not doing anything to me. He's got nothing for me. It's just me and him. He can't be worried about these other people." But confidence alone won't be enough. Roach is moving up in weight to face one of the most dangerous punchers in the sport. Tank's power isn't just physical, it's psychological. Opponents step into the ring knowing that one mistake could end their night instantly. Roach can talk all he wants about his improvements in game plan, but the reality is Tank knows how to adjust and dismantle opponents no matter what they bring. Even with all his confidence, there were moments where Roach seemed to feel the pressure. He spoke about his family and the DC crowd backing him, but there was a nervous edge to his words. Meanwhile, Tank stayed calm, almost indifferent. That's the thing about Davis. He doesn't need to yell or put on a show to prove his dominance. His presence alone says it all.
And Gervonta friends?
Friends, probably.
Is it gonna be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all gonna be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
Tank also played to the crowd, making it clear he's fighting for more than just himself. "I'm not just repping Baltimore. I'm repping people all over," he said. "Everyone who's going through something. If people doubt you or you think your back is against the ropes, I do it for you." It was a smart move, reminding fans why he's one of the sport's biggest stars. The press conference ended with the usual tension and stare-downs, but the truth is, the outcome of this fight feels like a foregone conclusion.
Fought twice in the same tournament. So, yeah, and we fought in the Junior Olympics, in the regionals, and we fought in the nationals.
Okay. He fought in the regionals and then fought again in the nationals?
Yeah.
Tank's dominance, power, and experience make him the heavy favorite. Roach may have heart, but heart alone can only take you so far against a fighter like Davis. Still, credit has to be given to both fighters for selling this matchup. Tank's praise of Roach, however calculated, adds an extra layer of intrigue, and Roach's confidence, even if misplaced, makes for good theater. At the end of the day, boxing is as much about the build-up as it is about the fight itself. Whether Roach can back up his words remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, Tank will be ready. And when Davis is ready, he's dangerous.
And I mean, it's going to go, Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plants Hawaii, and say, "Who do you want next?" And Tank's going to say, "I want all those guys." And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, "Who do you want next?" He say, "I want all the guys."
However, in the midst of all this, there is one fighter, one that even Floyd Mayweather believes could be Tank's true challenge. That matchup, which has been brewing in every boxing fan's mind for years, is Tank versus Shakur Stevenson. For many, it's not just a dream fight. It's the fight to determine the true king of the lightweight division. Mayweather, a man who ruled the sport with a perfect blend of skill and swagger, has never been shy about sharing his thoughts on the fighters he holds in the highest regard. Though he once guided Tank's career before their split and still acknowledges Davis as a dangerous force, when it comes to naming the most skilled lightweight today, Floyd doesn't hesitate. Shakur Stevenson is at the top of his list.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more.
Floyd Mayweather recently weighed in on the lightweight division, making it clear where he stands. I'll say this about Tank. He's the biggest puncher at 135, hands down. But Shakur is the most skilled fighter in that division, bar none. Coming from a man who built his legacy on precision and intelligence, those words carry serious weight. Mayweather values more than just knockout power. He respects technical mastery, ring IQ, and the ability to control a fight from start to finish. And in his eyes, Stevenson checks every box. The numbers tell the story. Tank's 30-0 record with 28 knockouts proves he's a human highlight reel, a pure finisher who can end fights in an instant. But boxing isn't just about raw power. That's where Stevenson comes in. He doesn't rely on knockouts. He dominates with defense, accuracy, and a level of control that makes elite opponents look ordinary. At 135 pounds, he's arguably the most complete technician in the game today.
Think people say that Shakur Stevenson then is the next big thing in the sport.
For one, I really think the fans don't really see nobody beating Shakur. When people bring up him and Tank, when I see and I go read like little stuff about it, they really be debating. It don't be like, oh, Tank is gonna destroy this guy and everybody is saying it. No, that shit be like real debates. Like, no.
Look, you don't have to be the hardest puncher to be the best, Floyd added. Whitaker wasn't knocking guys out left and right, but he was special. He made people miss, made them look bad. And Shakur does the same thing. He's all about hitting and not getting hit. Comparing Shakur Stevenson to the late Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker is no small compliment. Whitaker is remembered as one of the most technically gifted fighters in boxing history, a defensive genius who made world-class opponents look lost in the ring. Mayweather sees Shakur following that same path, not just winning fights, but completely outclassing his opponents with skill, movement, and ring IQ.
Get a lot of knockouts that people kind of making it like, if you ain't doing what Tank doing, then they gonna say it's boring. Do you feel like it's because of how his style is that they kind of putting that on you, like wanting you to do that?
People is blessed with different ability. He's blessed with a God-given ability that he crack you 9 times out of 10, you gonna go down. That's his ability.
Yeah.
I'm blessed with God-given eyes. A lot of people don't understand.
This is where the intrigue of a Davis-Stevenson clash truly lies. Tank, the wrecking ball, versus Shakur, the tactician. It's explosive offense against impenetrable defense, raw power against calculated precision. It's the kind of fight that divides fans and analysts alike. Some will always favor the puncher, the one who can end a fight in an instant. Others will side with the technician, the fighter who controls the pace and dictates how the night unfolds. Floyd, true to his nature, doesn't outright pick a winner, but his words hint at where he leans. It's all about skills, he said. You can have power, but skills are what pay the bills. Tank's got power and some serious skills, don't get me wrong, but Shakur's skills are on another level. That's a telling statement. Mayweather has always been selective with his praise, especially when it comes to fighters outside his camp. The fact that he openly acknowledges Shakur's skill superiority shows just how highly he rates Stevenson's abilities. For Tank, this is both a challenge and an opportunity. Mayweather's words reinforce what many already believe. Despite his dominance, there's always someone out there who could pose a real threat. But if there's one thing Tank has proven time and time again, it's that he thrives on these moments. When the pressure is at its highest, that's when he delivers his most spectacular performances.
Boxing, me and Tank the biggest fight.
That's the one.
It's the biggest fight in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be the biggest boxing fight in the world.
When asked if Tank's power could overwhelm Shakur's skills, Mayweather remained diplomatic, but highlighted the difficulty of landing clean shots on a fighter as defensively sharp as Stevenson. You can't hit what you can't see, Floyd said. That's what made guys like me and Sweet Pea so tough to beat. Shakur's cut from that same cloth. What makes this potential matchup even more intriguing is the mutual respect between Davis and Stevenson. Both recognize each other as elite fighters, but neither lacks confidence in their ability to win. The build-up alone would be electrifying, a battle of contrasting styles, high stakes, and undeniable skill. Yet, Despite the hype, the fight remains out of reach. Talks have been minimal, and no real negotiations have taken place. Whether it's promotional barriers, financial demands, or simply the right timing, something has kept this fight from becoming a reality.
My take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Lomachenko ducked him openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year. He wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at one.
The delay comes down to boxing politics. Unification fights are never simple, especially when two undefeated stars are involved. Promoters, networks, and managers all have to be on the same page, and that's before the fighters even step in. Tank and Shakur both seem open to the fight, but the timing just hasn't worked out yet. For now, Tank's focus is on Roach, where he'll look to remind everyone why he's one of the best in the game. But what do you think? Drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe for more boxing updates. See you in the next one.